Hey everyone, this is Pastor Dane Johansson from Agros Reformed Baptist Church. Going to walk you through chapter 3 of Athenaze, the comprehension questions at the end. So we will do the same thing, translate it, read it once, translate it, and then answer the questions. So the title of this one is Ivoes, so it means the oxen. Ote despotis, ke o doulos, vadizousi pros ton agron. Omen doulos, to arrotron feri. O the despotis alavnitos vos. Epide to agro pros horusin, voes uketi venusin. O un despotis kaliavtus ke mimenete o voes, fisin, alas bevdete is ton agron. The voes eti menusin. O un despotis ton dhulun kali ke elthe devrox antia fisin, ke si lamvane. Igar voes menusin. Ke u dinatonestin alavnin aftus is ton agron. Omenun doulos pros hori ke ala dinatonestin fisin edu, ke kendi tus vus. Ide uketi menusin ala spevdusin is ton agron. Alright, let's work through it. Ote despotis ke o doulos vadizousi pros ton agron. It's the first sentence, so we have the te and the ke. When you see that construction, that syntactical construction, it's both and. So men the is on the one hand on the other, and te ke is both and. So both the master, the spotis, ote the spotis, ke and odulos. So both the master and the slave. What do? Vadizousi, they go. Pros ton agron, there's the prepositional phrase, they go to the field or towards the field. So vadizousi, there's the usi ending, that's third person plural, present active indicative of vadizo, I go. So vadizousin, they go to the field. Both the master and the slave are going, or they go, towards the field. Next sentence. Omen doulos to arrotron feri, o the despotis alavnitus vus. So omen doulos, on the one hand, the slave, to arrotron feri, the plow he carries. So on one hand, the slave carries the plow, o the despotis alavnitus vus. On the other hand, so the men the that we talked about, there it is. The men the, on the one hand, the servant carries, feri, to arrotron, the plow. On the other hand, o the spotis alavni, tus vus. On the other hand, the master drives or goads the oxen, tus vus. Epide to agro pros horusin. So let's just look at that. But when, epide, to the field, to agro, pros horusin, they approach, but when they approach or are approaching the field, Ivoes uketi venusin. Ivoes, the oxen, uketi venusin. They no longer go. They no longer are walking. They no longer are going. But when they are approaching the field, the oxen are no longer going. They're no longer moving. Oun the spotis kaliaftus ke. So therefore, the master, oun despotis, kali, he calls. So from kaleo, I call, kali, he calls them. Who's the them? The tus vus, the ivoes. He's calling out to ivoes, that's the aftus. Ke, and ke will usually come before a quotation, or sometimes will. And here's what, o despotis legi, here's what he says. Mi menete o voes, fisin, alas bevdete is ton agron. So fisin means he says. He is saying, oun despotis. O despotis is the one who's doing fisin. So here's what he says. Mi menete, here's the negative particle mi, which in a command usually means don't do this. So don't stay. Menete from meno. I stay, I remain. Don't remain, O bovine, O oxen, he says. But Allah, the conjunction, spevdete is ton agron. So here's the imperative command from spevtho, I hurry, spevdete, second person plural, present active indicative, it's a command. Go, or hurry ye. You all hurry. It's a command. And into the field, iston agron. That's the prepositional phrase there. Either voes, eti menusin. But the bovine, but the oxen still, eti menusin. They still remain. So again, we have the usi ending with the movable ni at the end because the next sentence begins with a vowel. So, but, though he calls out to them, says, don't stay, but hurry into the field, they still stay. Eti menusin. Oun despotis, tonodulon kali ke, therefore the master to the slave, or the master the slave calls. So the master calls the slave, calls out to the slave, and says, and ke fisin, and says, Elthedevro Xanthia, we've seen Elthedevro a bunch, come hither, Xanthia, the Dhulos, his name, onomaf to Estin Xanthia, his name is Xanthia. So, come hither, Xanthia, ke silamvane, and help, silamvane. In the first edition, they use voithi as help. In the second edition, they use silamvane. So I was lucky enough to have now learned both of those words, silamvane, help. So that's again a command, on the end, and so elthe, silamvane, come hither and help. Igar voes menusin, for, and this is still the spotis talking to Xanthia, Odikaopolis, legi, proston Xanthian. He's still talking to Odhulos, the slave, and he's continuing on. He says, for the oxen, igar voes menusin, for they stay, they're remaining, they're not going like they're supposed to. Ke u dinaton estin alavni naftus iston agron. So now he's telling him what's wrong. Here we have u, the negative particle u, not able, for it is not possible. Dinaton estin, u, dinaton estin, it is not possible. So dinaton estin is it is possible. Udinaton estin is it is not possible. Alavni, the infinitive from alavno, I drive or I goad. It is not possible to drive or to goad them, who's aftus. Evoes is aftus. It's not possible, for it is not possible to drive them iston agron, into the field. And that was the end of his quotation, and it's going to continue on with the story. Omen un dhulos proshori ke. On the one hand, therefore, omenun, dhulos, the servant, o dhulos, the slave, proshori, he approaches, so the ending there, third person, singular, present active, indicative, he. On the one hand, therefore, the slave approaches, ke fisin, and says, ala dinaton estin, idhu. But it is possible, dinaton estin, so before we had, if I can just go away, there we go. Before we had dinaton estin, it is not possible, but now, the oludhulos, Xanthia actually has something positive to say for once. He's always the one complaining. But he says, but it is possible. Behold, idhu. And then continues on, kekendi tus vus. He goads. So that's proper to goad, meaning to like whip. Kendi. He is the one doing it. So E ending. Kendi goads. Elavni is drive or force them to go along. For it is but it is possible. The denton estin idhu, and then he kendi tus vus. He goads them. He whips them. Either uketi menusin ala spevdusin iston agron. So for once, the Keopolis, who is the spotis aftu, his master, actually has something good to say. He's the one that kendi tus vus. He whips the he goads or whips the oxen. And now, sorry, that's what they want you to have right here, is and they, either. So E is a definite article referring to, it's a word the in the plural nominative masculine. So it's just the word the, but within the word the here in Greek, The works much different than English. So E actually represents tous vos. So it's referring to tous vos right there. Tous vos. Idhe uketi menusin ala spevdusinis tonagron. And they no longer uketi, so from u, not, and eti, yet, or remain. They no longer remain, they no longer uketi menusin, they remain, they stay, so they're no longer going to just stay stuck, but spevdusinis tonagron, they hurry into the field. So he kendi tous vos, he goads the oxen, either uketi menusin ala spevdusinis tonagron, and they no longer stay, but hurry into the field. What are the master and the slave doing? That is question 1. Well, they want you to look at the first part. Ote despotis ke odulos vadizusin pros tonagron. So, what are the master and slave doing? O despotis ke odulos vadizusin pros tonagron. The master and the slave are going into the field. What happens when they approach the field? It's number 2. When they approach the field, I think they want you to do this one. You could either do that they, on the one hand, the slave is carrying the plow, and the master is driving the oxen, but I think they probably want you to go here, because epi the to agro pros horusin, when they approach the field, what happens? Ivoes uketi venusin. The oxen no longer go. So they get to the field and the oxen stop for some reason, because they don't want to, or they're stuck. Before it's been they were stuck, so now it's just they don't want to go. So that's the answer. What happens when they approach the field? Ivoes uketi venusin. That's the answer. Number 3, what does the master do, and with what result? Well, here we have O despotis kaliaftus. He calls out to them, who is the Ivoes, and he tells them, don't stay, but hurry into the field. Allah spevdeteis tonagron. And the result is either voes eti menusin. Either voes eti menusin. The nothing happens. the voes ivoes eti menusin. They still stay. they don't go u venusin. They don't go. All right, and that was number. That was number 3. What does the master do, and with what result? Number 4. What does the master do in his helplessness? So in his helplessness, o un despotis ton dhulon kali ke. So o despotis kali ton dhulon, he calls to his slave, and he says, Althe devro xanthia ke silambana. He asks, in his helplessness, he asks he calls out to Xanthia, who is the Odulos, and asks him for help. Silambana, he calls him to help. The imperative. Help. Last question, number 5. What does the slave do that the master did not do? With what result? Well, the master simply yelled at them and said, Mi menete ivoes. Don't just stop there. Mi menete ovoes. And the slave does something different. After talking about how it's not possible to drive them into the field, that's what Dikeopolis, despotis, says. Odulos, the slave, then says, Allah dinatonestin, but it is possible. Idhu, watch, behold. Ke kendi tus vus, and he drives he whips the oxen. That's what the slave did that the master did not do. The master simply kali, he simply calls out and says, Mi menete, and yet the odulos xanthias, he whips them, kendi tus vus, kendis aftus. And with what result? Well, here's the result. Ide uketi menusin, Allah spevdusinis tonagron. The result is that they, referring to tus vus, ivoes, no longer, uketi menusin, they no longer stay, but they hurry into the field, istonagron. Anyway, guys, hopefully that was helpful. God bless you all.